Hey everyone, welcome to this week's show. With me, as always, I have Corey. Thank you for joining me, Corey.
Thanks for having me.
You may realize that Derek is not here, despite him saying yes, I will be there. Family issues came up, so obviously that takes priority over fantasy hockey in most circles. But uh, we'll let it slide this time, Derek. He has been making effort trying to get on the show, though, so that's great. He's one of the few GMs that we haven't had on the show yet.
That's been around for a long time.
He's one of the OGs.
Yep.
It's
The,
the original draft.
AHLers.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that was like his second team name there. After
Yeah.
I forget what his
Well,
first one was, but
something about
yeah,
goalies, I think.
I
Can't
think it
remember.
was maybe it was I think it was grind. It was all about grind, like 'cause that's how he won, right? He went all grind and goalies. Like
Yeah, grinding goalies.
it was interesting. Like, but yeah, too bad he can't join us, but obviously we get it. We have a lot to talk about. One, we had some crazy results here to go over from last week. Some close matchups, um, some upsets. So I'm looking forward to that. But we purposely waited until the trade deadline was passed before recording this week's show. We just thought it would be better to just talk about all the trades in one episode. So I feel like this is gonna be our last long episode of the season.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
without trades, like it's gonna go by fast, right? But and we have some big matchups this week, obviously with playoff implications. So what do you say we jump into this?
Do it.
All right, let's start with Team Ramrod and forgot about Dre. Team Ramrod 13-2-3, still in first place after defeating Forgot About Dre, who's now 12-5-1. I think he dropped down to third. Let's hide it on my screen a little bit here. Yeah, dropped down to third. I beat him 9-3. It was closer than that would have you think, though, 9-3. What do you have to say about this matchup?
Yeah, you guys both had solid weeks. Your offense was a little bit better than his, and your goalies too. 9-3, a comfortable win for you. Not too tight, but it wasn't too far off of going the other way, right? But
If you look at the stats, like it was closer than a 9-3 would tell you. Um, my boys showed up though on Sunday afternoon, and you could tell he was throwing in the towel for the week and looking for next week when he dropped Smalt, who had a game that night, and didn't play or get himself ready for this week, right? Like so,
yeah,
that's when I saw that I'm like, okay, all right, I can
pretty good.
relax now. It was a good week. It's always a good matchup when I play Nick. I seem to have his number this season, but he made some interesting moves, right, to bolster his roster. So uh, I can't say it'll be for sure next time, right? Like who knows? That's all I'm going to say about that. Like I won't rub it in too much to Nick here. He hears about it all the time. Fox of the Huso, 10-7-1 in sixth place after defeating or losing, sorry, to one of the few teams with a sixth left. 12-6-0 now in fourth place. Derek with a big win. What happened here?
Yeah, Derek's team came out to play. Uh, pretty comfortable win, I'd say. 11-3, win 4-0 in goalie stats. 3 shorthanded points to 2 for Travis. But that's Travis could afford a loss where he was in the standings. So
He could
that was a
afford it.
that was a
It's
big
not
one
great.
though. That would have been a nice that would have been a nice one to put yourself up a little bit closer.
Was
Right
talking to
there.
Travis at work there, and he was saying he doesn't feel comfortable lining up against any of the top four. He doesn't think his team lines up well against them, right? And this is that's a possible first round matchup, and it did
True.
not go well for him, right? So we'll see what happens. Is maybe Demko comes back, and that could change his luck, right? But
Yep, we'll see.
possible first round matchup, maybe what we have to see. Team Rocket continuing his losing ways. We were having a good laugh at his expense at work the other day, uh, where Nick was looking at the standings on Monday morning or Tuesday morning or whatever and saying, how does he only have 4 points? But 1-15-2 in 16th place. Loses to Shane, lost to me in the finals. He's now 8-9-1 in ninth place. Big 7-6 victory. Mark barely scrapes by. What happened here?
I'm kind of surprised Kyle has his goalie starts. He only had 52 saves, 800 save percentage though. Like it was a rough give me week for Mark, I'd say there, and he barely squeezed by. So big win for him in the standings. We'll discuss that, but it almost played spoiler here a little bit.
Kyle wants to lose right now. He's told me this. He's like, I'm going to do everything I have to that I'm obliged to do, which is fair. But
Yeah.
he's like, it doesn't benefit him for beating any of his opponents that are left
No.
because he wants people who he has their six to drop out. And he's playing all guys chasing them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
he'd rather see Mark get in
Yeah,
and let's say like a Neil drop out, right?
that's funny.
He's like, I'm gonna abide by the rules. I'm gonna do everything I can. But he's like, I'm not gonna go out and add drop players that are gonna help me. Like, I'm gonna play with the roster I have. He'll set it legally.
Oh, that's funny.
Don't try the beef. What did I tell you a few weeks ago? He has the ability to just sneak one by. I think there's a couple weeks in a row they had some opponents had a hard time dealing with him. But he took up a big victory, a big spoiler victory here. 4-13-1 now, still in 15th place. Defeating Pacioretty to Rumble here, 9-9. Barely hanging on to 8th place, but still in 8th. What happened here?
Yeah, Daltry's offense came out to play. Stutzel and McKinnon leading the way. Uh, and I know Wilson's back now. He's back for this week, so it's another big boost. His goalies didn't have a great week, but his offense was able to play spoiler. But when his team's healthy, I guess you can see what they can do right on a good week.
It's fair. I've been saying for weeks that Daltrey has that team. Again, McKinnon's back and he's on fire. Like you said, Wilson's back. Grubauer's been playing well. like, you know, all of a sudden Daltrey's team is performing a little too late for him. But I mean, I'm sure if I was in his position, I'd be having fun ruining some people's playoff hopes. Like that'd be the fun for me. But
Patches threw in the towel after this, didn't he? A little bit,
not
saying
really.
Marchand's
He just wanted
available.
to recoup the picks on Marchand.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. He took a risk and moved him. We'll
Yep.
talk about that deal after. Svechny a drink, 5-11-2 and 13. After losing the Sauce Pass, 12-3-3, was in second place. What happened here?
Yeah, it was close. I did went 4-0 in the goalie stats, so my players carried me to victory here. Um, it was pretty. It was coming down to the last game. I had three players. He had one, or vice versa. I can't remember now. And he needed a goal. He needed a goal to tie it up. And if he got two goals, he would have won. So that was the difference maker. But no, didn't happen. I think it was Arizona and Columbus or
It
something.
was. Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
last game of the night.
yeah. So snuck one out here. So I
Two
haven't
like
lost.
low scoring teams.
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on, get me a goal. A win's a win, right? You pulled out
Yeah.
the win. Good for you. Um, no one will remember the score later on. They'll just remember that hey, it was Sauce Pass who beat Dan. So no, big win for you. Take over second place again.
Yeah, I agree.
Here's another upset. Mexico, I don't remember their city Floridas, 5-12-1 here in 14th place after defeating Jager Bombs 9-4. Jager Bombs fall to 8-9-1 in 11th place. There was a point we were like 7-8 weeks into the season. He was in first,
It's true.
and now he's in 11th. Keep that in mind. What happened here?
His offense didn't show up at all. Like a very slow week, and then his goalies were just as bad. Um, It didn't take much to beat him this week. That's all I'll say. Good on Casey to get a win. Play spoiler here. It makes it quite interesting in the playoff race. So
I feel Braden hasn't showed up in weeks. Um, those some points where I'm looking at his roster. He has guys who are healthy on his IR, guys who are on the IR in his roster. Like
yep.
he does this every year, right? He checks out. He's gonna come back like next week, and I'll say this to Travis at work today. He's gonna come back next week and say, "Okay, guys, when's the deadline?" Like, buddy, we just passed it. It's how that feeling is. That's what it's happened before. You wait. But big win for Casey. Um, hurting some playoff teams' hopes. Playoff teams. Speaking of playoff teams, Captain Crunch is somehow still winning. I guess he's playing Clef, but 10-7-1 now in fifth place after defeating Clef Bomb 9-4. Clef falling to 7-10-1 in 12th. What happened here?
Oh, yawn away. I apologize. Doma's putting up a good week. His players are pretty solid. It's his goalies that didn't have a great week, but neither did Kyle, so that makes it even easier. Keeping the winning ways going, climbing the standings. He's sitting pretty comfy right now for making the playoffs, and it's a big loss. And Kyle, I was kind of hoping for a Kyle victory here just to really make things interesting in the standings, but it's unfortunate. But it is what it is.
I still think Domo will fall out. He only has like a 3-point lead. I know there's only a few weeks left, but he has a tough schedule left. So I don't know if he gets any more points. So we'll see. I guess we'll see. This is a fun match to talk about here. Chris Crichton Crease Crashers 9-6-3 in 7th place now after defeating Suck My Ojic 9-5. Neil dropping the 8-9-1 in 10th place. Oh, what do you think of this?
It's unfortunate. Like Neil had a really solid week here. But clearly Sean's was better. But Neil would have beat a lot of the teams that were winning other matchups this week, and tough loss in the standings makes it really interesting. Good on Sean, his team really showing. But yeah,
I like this. This sets up right now. This week I play 7th place. Next week I play 8th place. Week after I play 9th place. Like I'm ready. Like these are guys that I might play in the first round. These are warm-up matches for me. I'm ready. But either way, I didn't care who won this one. Either way, one of them was gonna slide slowly out of a playoff spot. I'm happy. Like I said, I wanted it to be me that ruined Sean's hopes, not you, Neil. But yeah, so some big matchups. Let's take a look at the standings now and see how that really changed based on these results here. So in first place, still Team Ramrod, 13, 2-3. Corey, you're sitting in second place, 12, 3-2. Both of us have good seasons, right? Where we haven't lost more than 3 times. I know we got some ties in there, but it's not a loss. So you're sitting there at 27 points. They're 2 behind me. Nick's sitting at 25 points in third place, 12, 5-1. Derek right behind him, 24 points. He could sneak up the standings still, Derek.
yeah.
You know? He's sitting there. Sorry?
He had a really strong start to the year, and then he kind of went quiet for a few weeks during football season ending, I think. Then he jumped right back into it, and he's picking it back up. So he's definitely he has a team that can contend.
Yeah, I think that's his plan right now, right? I think the top 4. There's a lot of separation now, right? Derek has 3 points up on 5th place, so it's gonna be interesting here. Barring no upsets in the first round, it could be me versus any one of you 3 and vice versa, right? So top 4 teams there. Domo, I think Domo was a first round exit if he makes it. Sitting at 21 points here in 5th place. Travis goes on at work how he thinks he's a first round exit. So he's in there at
You
sixth
never
place.
know, though.
What's that?
You never know.
You
It's
don't ever know.
fantasy
That's what I
hockey.
try to tell
You
him, but
can't. You can't give up. Yeah.
he doesn't. He's not giving up. He just doesn't like how his roster matches up against the top four,
Yeah.
and that's rough when you're going to play one of them in the playoffs, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
But he's
Unless
sitting
you
at
start
21
winning.
points. It's tied for fifth, I guess. Sean also tied for fifth, but he got the seventh seed here with 21 points. Then you have a little bit of a drop again. They have a little bit of a buffer. 3-point lead on eighth place here. Patches, maybe a little separation, but who knows? There's still time for this the close, right? Patches sit at 18 points. Mark right behind him at 17 points. Neil and Braden also 1 point behind. So you have 9th, 10th, and 11th, all 1 point out. Could be a really good finish here. I know Neil and Braden play each other in the final week. So that could be a huge matchup come final race time here. You got Clef sitting at
Neil
15. Sorry?
Neil actually plays all three of them in the next 3 weeks.
Oh, he controls
Yeah,
his fate.
he does completely.
And he was relatively quiet at the deadline.
Yeah, he was.
Clef's in at 12th place here with 15 points. Dan 13th with 12. Hey, Casey might even be able to jump Dan. Sin with 11 points here in 14th. Daltrey 9 points in 15th. 4 points for Kyle. We were laughing at that earlier in last place. He is all but assured the Golden Cock. It's almost a lock. You know, if Daltrey can get himself a point,
Yep.
then it's pretty much sealed. So a point or a Team Rocket loss this weekend, Kyle will be the new owner of the Golden Cock.
Yeah.
It's right since he
Proud
purchased
owner.
it. Why don't you tell me about the predictions?
Yes. So it was a pretty rough week for us. We all went 0-4 on the matchups with Daltrey against Pacioretty. We all went with Patches and lost. We all went with Braden against Casey and we lost. We all went with Clefbaum over Doma when we lost. We all went with Neil over Sean and we lost. So it was right there. It was rough. You got the other four right though. But I went with Nick over you, and so did Kyle. But we were wrong on that one. And then Travis went with himself over Derek, and he was wrong. So it was 3-5 for a few of
It's our
us.
worst week collectively.
Yeah. You led the way with 4-4. So now you and Travis are tied with 90 wins, 54 losses. Me and Kyle with 87 wins behind you. So 3-point gap there. A little bit of separation. 3 weeks left. So it's good for you guys.
Yeah, that's still like one week could close that gap, right?
But we got to pick differently though. So
it.
it depends on the matchups, right?
Yep. There's obviously opportunity, right? We all went 0-4 in the one, and like 3 of them,
You're right,
or 4 of them. So it just would take it so to be like, no, I'm going to go this way, and all
I
of them
feel
were
like
believable.
yeah, but you did say there were a few upsets this week, and there really were. So,
Yeah, there were.
but there it is possible. So,
All right, that's good news on that front here for me at least. Pretty happy with that. Let's start talking about trades. So we're definitely gonna have to do 2 parts on this one. I was saying that earlier. There were a lot of trades. There was a lot of activity. We're a trading league, and we knew it was the deadline, and we did not disappoint. There was a lot of trades, a lot of activity. So let's start with some trades that went through last week. Mexican City Flow Riders here, hooking up with Forgot About Dre. Dre picking up Mayfield and a 14th for Cernak and a 13th. Cernak was injured at the time, I believe. How do you think of this trade?
Yeah, it's a nothing trade really. Nick out the player he wanted for 1 round pick. That's not bad.
Again, I think Cernak was injured, so he won the man games against me, and just
Yeah.
yeah, I
And
agree. It's a nothing trade.
yep.
He just had to pay. Some people don't have to pay though to get a player from Casey. They just get
It's
player
true.
for player.
I agree.
I don't
I agree.
understand how you do that when you're in sell mode. Kind of scolded him at work today. Like you're selling, you need to get a pick no matter what if you're selling, especially on trade deadline day. Like
Mhm.
you don't help people for free. This is the same guy though. We'll talk about that later. The same guy who always like, oh, you guys always get the good connection deals and collusion, and I'm on to you, Travis. So that's me a drink here, hooking up with you here. James Reimer and 2 7s for Copley, an 8th and a 9th. Tell me about this one.
Yeah, I just didn't like the San Jose situation. Reimer was splitting a lot of starts.
Hey, not this week.
Not even doing well when he was in net, and then like first game off my team, he gets a shutout.
He got the start. He's getting the start tonight too.
Yeah, that's good. Uh, but I felt more comfortable going with Copley and 2 7s to get him, but only an 8th and 9th coming back. I'm okay with that.
I don't know if I'd be comfortable with Copley. Copley's getting wins, but his stats are not good. None of the LA
His stats,
goalies have good stats.
yeah, his stats are okay.
It's
They're
like barely a 900.
yeah, I know. That's all right. But I feel like I'm gonna get more starts there. So
You'll probably get more starts, that's for sure.
yeah,
Unless they pick up a player, goalie at the deadline here.
yeah, you're not wrong. They signed him
'Cause,
to a 1 year extension, so that's why I felt a little bit more comfortable going for him too.
yeah, there's been rumors that they're going to go after either Vejmelka or Demko. That they're very interested in Demko.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if Vancouver will move him, so
Yeah.
and you're
So
not going
say
to pick up
Travis.
Demko and make him ride the bench, right? Like,
Yeah. Well,
but right now he's the man there,
he's
right?
been
So
injured all year though too, so it's
yeah.
hard to say.
Clefbaum hooking up with one of the few sixth for sale. Clefbaum getting Middleton and a 12th. Derek getting Krejci and an 11th. I
Yeah.
don't understand. Clefbaum went shopping, but what
I
do you
don't
think of
know.
this?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was confused by this one too. Um,
I think Clef just wanted to play spoiler a bit. Said, "Hey,
hey, well, I
he's
guess
coming."
he was still going for the playoffs too, right? So
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
only
He's
one
not.
round
He's not
difference.
out.
Yeah, he wasn't out. So yeah, I could understand that. Only 1 round. That's not bad.
No, but he moved Krejci, who's probably the better player.
Yeah. So it must be like man game related.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say on that trade. Captain Crunch hooking up with Team Rocket here. Of course, picking up another 18th. And Barrett Hayden. This is a Sunday trade for sure. Because you don't pick up a Coyote unless they're in the last game of the week. Uh,
All
Team
right.
Rocket here getting Jordan Stahl, his hero from a few weeks ago, and a 16th. What do you think of this trade?
Going for the Sunday push. That's it. 16th, 18th. It's really hit
Nothing.
or miss. Yeah.
That's it. Again, Domo's whole game is man games. So now it'll be interesting now that those games are done. So
Exactly. He's kicking my butt this week, so we'll
yeah, we
get
had a
there.
half a week of trades, so we'll see how he holds up at the end of the week. Captain Crunch busy again, trading a nobody Ottawa goalie and a 16th for another no-name Ottawa goalie and a 17th uh, with Derek. What can you tell me about this one?
Yeah, we'll get to the other one after, but this one confused me because when I went and saw after, he was already at NA status. So I don't know if they just had like a long stretch that they're sitting him out, or did they actually sit him down? But then he trades him. So
Makes
and
sense.
but he lost a pick in this one, and then he trades him again away and loses a pick in that. Oh no, yeah, and then he loses a pick in that one again. So like it makes no sense to me.
I think this deal was done on Saturday night, but I couldn't process it till Sunday. Or it was done on Sunday and I couldn't process the money. And then he had the NA by the time I processed it.
But they didn't even like refund him. Like Domo lost the pick each time, both
Yeah.
trades.
Oh, yeah. He probably thought he was going to get some starts out of him,
I
but
don't know.
didn't.
We'll see.
Clefbaum hooking up with Dre here Monday morning, 2 days before the deadline. Dre goes out and picks up Cousins and a 16th for Gerard and a 12th from Clef. What do you think of this?
I don't even see what trade you're looking at.
Gerard for
Oh,
Cousins.
there you go, there you go. I see it now. Yeah, when Kyle said he was selling, I was like, I was gonna go look at Cousins, and I'm like, shit, like he already moved him. I'm like, fuck, like Nick got him for only a 12th. I'm like, that's a cheap price in my opinion. Like he's having a really strong year. Like he's one of those guys that puts up an average to low amount of hits though. So, but as long as he's putting up the offense he's been putting up, then there's no complaints there. Uh, and then Gerard's a ad drop player, so
Yeah, I felt Cousins probably could have got fetched a little bit of a higher price.
yeah,
But good on Nick. Good move for Nick. Boosting up his offense. Gerard's expendable.
yeah,
This trade kind of took place while we were out drinking the other night. A couple of us went to Winners. Um, Clefbaum picking up Talbot and a 15th in exchange for a 10th with Derek. Essentially just hoping Talbot might be able to help him get to the playoffs. What do you think of this?
yeah. I don't think it's a bad price for Talbot. I don't know if he's planning on keeping him as a goalie now that he got rid of Murray. So maybe, but who knows what's going on with that Calgary situation as well, right? So
Yes.
they just gave Vladar back to back starts. So in like back to back nights though.
He didn't look sharp against Arizona last night, that's for sure. He got the
Yeah,
win, but they had 3 goals on their first 9 shots. They're
yeah, I know.
outshot like 22-9 at that point. Like,
Yeah, so I think it's a good price for Kyle. I really do to get Talbot.
yeah, Derek didn't want him, didn't need him. He got a better pick. Good for him.
Yeah.
Captain Crunch busy again. Derek busy again. Ranta and a 16th going to Captain Crunch for Mandalese or whatever you say it here, and a 15th. What do you think of this one?
That's what I mean. He trades the same guy back. Like here, I want to trade you for him, but then I'll trade you him back. I guess Ranta has done well, but he doesn't get the starts. He knows he's a backup goalie. If as long as the other guy's healthy, he's gonna sit down the bench. So
More
um,
often than not, like yeah,
yeah, I don't see this as a good trade, but it's one round difference, so it is what it is. At least he's
yeah,
not.
yeah. I don't really care about that trade. Again, that's just him trying to get man games. That's all I have to say on that. We'll talk about this last trade here before we get into deadline day, and then we'll set up the second part because we're running out of time. So,
Good.
this last deal here before we get to deadline day itself, Captain Crunch and Derek hooking up again. Dave Perron and a 15th for Eberle and a 14th. What do you think of this?
He just loves to get those one round upgrades, right? So like
Well, you
this
might
is
as well take him if you're Derek.
this is like a non-playoff 14th for playoff 15th too. So
Yeah, it's
it's a
essentially a
decent
two
way up
round.
it. Yeah, could be right. So yeah, good on Derek to get a few pickup grades here at the end of the season. He hasn't been crazy active on the trade front like some of us, right? So
Yeah, but he's improving his picks, right? He's selling his ad drops. He's doing what he's got to do.
yeah,
I like to move for Derek. I just don't. I never understand what Dome was doing, so I'm not even going to criticize that. You guys have heard it all before from me, so.
yeah.
So with that said, we're gonna stop for intermission here.